These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another How About Them Celtics video. Sam and I are here recording on Friday, December 8th. We told you there'd be a double upload today, and there's a double upload today. Earlier today, you saw our reaction to the Celtics-Knicks game, which we haven't watched yet because it's about 6 p.m. Eastern time and 3 p.m. our time in Vegas. But we promised a double upload because we didn't have one when we put out Talking C's yesterday. So that's what you're going to get. And we're going to be talking about Jaylen Brown. And the idea from this article came from RJ, who sent us an article that Jay King wrote with the Jaylen Brown one-on-one interview. So shout out RJ, as well as this, which we had our eyes on already. ESPN posting a graphic. Jaylen Brown last 2 games, 0 assists, 43 field goal attempts. And Jaylen Brown commented on it. Y'all corny, watch the game. And I agree with this.
Something we talked about.
Yeah, this is lame. I think he's been a lot better this season. Jay King spoke with him. Like we mentioned, RJ sent us the article. Said, I feel like on both sides of the ball, I'm playing the best basketball of my life. Feel like I'm a different player, have the same essence, but that aggressiveness, but I'm seeing the floor, making the right reads, and trying to get others involved. And so when I saw that ESPN graphic, this is immediately what I thought of. These are the first 2 plays of the Pacers game, a game where Jaylen Brown had 0 assists. And we're going to watch these together, and you're going to tell me what you see. Chat and Sam, watch this. Jaylen Brown gets inside, boom. That is a wide open 3. Derek White just missed. Yeah. These are the first 2 3-point attempts of the game for the Celtics, by the way. Next one, Jaylen Brown drives, draws 2 defenders, boom. That is a wide open 3. He missed. You can't just blanketly state like, oh, this many field goal attempts, no assists. He is making the right plays to get the assists. He can't control if his teammates make it. He has objectively been a better playmaker this year, and I really think that it's starting to make its way towards the level of, oh, yeah, this guy's dangerous.
Yeah, we did the video on – I think we did multiple videos on this subject. We did one with Porzingis. We did one where it was just kind of breaking down a couple of different areas where he either excelled or he had a rough game turning the ball over or forcing drives. And this was not an example of the latter. He looked really solid against the Pacers. He made the correct decisions. It was something you mentioned earlier in the week when we talked about this game. And I think Jaylen actually did get some flack for it. But he was driving with a purpose. You saw those clips that Jack just showed. He was making the right read. This is the important thing that fans, media members, all have been clamoring for him to be a little bit less tunnel vision when he's driving. Because there are examples of him just saying, I'm shooting no matter what. I'll be there no matter what. But when he's hitting these guys on the kickout, those were 2 excellent looks for the Celtics, Jrue Holiday and Derek White, 2 guys who have proven to be semi-reliable, 2 reliable shooters. Holiday on a hot streak as of late. He's been much better, but wasn't great to start the season. And Derek White, always steady, always ready. Love and trust him. But if Jaylen is able to continue doing that and to continue being a pressure driver on the defense to help suck in, use his gravity to make open looks for his teammates, it raises the ceiling so much for the Celtics. I wrote about it for Celtics blog last week. I used the Milwaukee Bucks game where it was probably the best Jaylen game I've ever seen. And then the Orlando Magic game where he had a disastrous 1 of 14 second half. And it was a lot of forced play and a lot less of looking for the rest of the fellas out of the flow of the offense. And it just was a poor display overall. So when you have Jaylen playing into the flow of the offense, you're going to have more successful basketball. It's just a fact.
I agree. Looking through some of these other things, asked about the difference. For the most part, just reading the game, this was the Heat, what spawned or what came of the Heat switching defensive coverages and sort of making him make plays. And he said he failed. He said it just inspired growth, inspired me to work hard. Probably the hardest I've ever worked this summer. My body's changed athletically. I feel like I'm at my prime. Everything's for a reason. Part of being a human being is learning and growing. That's how I approach everything in life. Said it starts with practice, every day with the reads, heightened awareness. Said we got a lot of players that need to contribute. I want to maintain my aggressiveness, but also finding those guys in space. Most people, how they watch the game, they don't really watch. It's like they evaluate it by statistics. And that's one thing I feel like, as of course, as the season goes on, you'll start to see my statistics kind of measure back out. But for the most part, how you play good basketball, that's what's important. And I think that's a big part of it too. Like, you can look at the raw assist numbers. I don't know what Jaylen Brown's averaging. It's probably down year to year just because he's having the ball in his hands less. But it's unfair to just look at the stats and say, Jaylen's this, Jaylen's that. Like, even when I was writing, like, I wrote an article about this time last year talking about what he's doing wrong, and it was stats, but there were also clips and showing exactly what the issues were. And a lot of those issues have been improved upon, right? Like, there's still some lapses. There's still the occasional dribble into traffic. There's still the occasional missed read or the missed opportunity. But a lot of the times, Jaylen Brown is in control. And whenever he drives, you saw it in the 2 clips we showed at the start of the video. If he is driving, he is looking to the perimeter. He is looking for the pass. He is looking for Kristaps. Like, that is not something we saw from him in years past. And that is, like, I've said it a million times on here and on Celtics blog in my articles, like, that is the next step Jaylen Brown needs to make. I wrote about it this summer. Like, if he makes that step, he is closer to Tatum than he is to, like, a normal all-star. Like that is such a huge step for him in his game. And I think we're starting to see it. And that is dangerous for the rest of the league, especially considering the context of the Celtics have so many stars. A lot of people were concerned that Jaylen Brown would be the one to have to give up touches, and how would he handle that, and how would it go for him? If he's making reads, like, huge for him in this specific offense.
Yeah, and it's also huge when they have to trot out the Jaylen and the boys lineups too, which are something in the past that we've seen not work so well.
Which have been better than the Tatum lineups at times this year, which is not something we've seen.
Score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action, NFL. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including you got spreads, you got your player props, you got over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/Boston and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Yeah, in the past, it's been Tatum, his plus-minus skyrockets, and then everybody else kind of lags behind because he's always been the driving force of this Celtics group. But seeing Jaylen Brown be able to carry the load a little bit, and he's had some help. Drew Holiday being out there definitely is a stabilizing force for him, I think. But it's just so much more impactful if he's able to man those lineups, because you don't have to solely rely on Tatum. You can afford to give Tatum a little bit of extra rest in games, which could benefit you down the stretch. Maybe his legs are a little less tired. Maybe he becomes a better percentage shooter in the clutch, because in the past, the Tatum clutch numbers, while the points might be there, he's not the most efficient guy ever. A lot of this team as a whole has not been very efficient in the clutch. So if you're able to man the bench unit as Jaylen Brown, it's going to help the team excel so much more. And we have seen it, like you said. And it doesn't hurt that his chemistry with Kristaps Porzingis is unmatched, because they're able to make each other better. Kristaps has seemingly unlocked a new level of Jaylen Brown, this whole wrinkle that we've chatted about today, just by giving him more options as the ball handler in the pick and roll. Having Kristaps as the pick setter or screen setter, whatever you want to call it, he can pick and pop, he can pick and fade or pick and roll. Either way, you're giving the defense a very difficult decision to make. And I think that is a very easy way to get Jaylen Brown in a quick decision-making flow on the offensive end, because he's making the reads for everybody. You saw those 2 passes earlier. Derek White, Drew Holiday, both wide open for 3. Instead of going up on 2 defenders, he's deferring and he's making the right basketball play. And on this team, you can afford to rely on the right basketball play. Sometimes guys around the league get killed for it if they're the only guy, but that's just not the case with the Celtics. They have too many good guys to just be selfish and not make the extra pass.
I agree. And you look at the numbers. I think I can pull it up here. Last 5 games, Derek White still leads in plus minus at 54. Jaylen Brown is second at 28. Jason Tatum minus 21 in the last 5 games. Now, that's always an issue because Jason Tatum's been struggling. But the fact that Jaylen Brown has been able to find that much success without Jason Tatum on the floor is indicative of how much he's improved as a playmaker and just in general, leading these lineups. he's been great this year. I've been very happy with Jaylen Brown. Looking at this article a little bit more, seeing if I missed anything, saying we've got Kristaps, we've got Drew, we got a lot of guys who can switch it up a little bit. Said it's a new season. You learn, you grow, and improve. I've been focused on being a better basketball player, and that's really it. So he seems intent on improving the parts of his game that he knows he had to improve upon. You've been seeing it on the court. ESPN clearly just looks at the stats. Like he said, that shit's corny. It's corny. I've been impressed with Jaylen as somebody who's been critical of him in the past that I've gotten reamed on Twitter for. He's been a lot better. I think at least he still had some mishaps as all players do, but general scope of things, 2 thumbs up for Jaylen this season.
2 thumbs up.
Especially in the
You've seen it here. Make
high
it 4,
praise,
but I'm holding my mic, so I can't do both thumbs up.
Okay, perfect. But yeah, let us know what y'all think of Jaylen. Thank you for watching How About Them Celtics. Make sure to subscribe. Go watch our Talking Z's with Bobby Kravitsky that went out yesterday. And check out the Celtics Knicks recap that went out this morning, and I'll let Sam take it out.
Hey, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our Talking C's, recaps, analysis videos, pregame streams, or full pods. They're all here. So if you hit the bell, you'll get a notification anytime we post anything. You can also leave a like, leave a comment. Tell us what you think of Jaylen this year. Do you think he's improved? Do you think he's the same? We want to hear from you. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple if you want the audio versions of any full-length pod or game recap. It's all there. You can leave us a nice 5-star review on those platforms. We would appreciate it. You can also get in touch with us, hbtcpod@gmail.com for all emails. We always do an email check-in on the show for Impopnito. Tell us what's popping. Tell us what you think. We love reading emails, and we're really happy we have people that actually care to email us. You can also follow us and interact with us on social at How About Them C's. That's Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. The Facebook page is just the name of the podcast. All of our streams will be there. You can follow Jack on Twitter at JackSimoneNBA. You can follow me at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Taco. Come on. Taco.